rotate through the screen. So in order on a PC, you have to hold down the Alt, and then you need a 3-mouse button. And with the left mouse, you hold it down, and then you can rotate the screen. With the middle one, you also holding the Alt down, you could pan in and out. And also in the middle, if you hold it, you could go side to side. Okay? So you should, the first thing when you start using this, you should just get comfortable doing this. And you want to continuously, like in any 3D program, you always want to look at, you want to make sure you're moving around the object as you're working on it, because other times you do stuff and then you turn around and you're like, oh, what happened? Right? Because there's something wrong in the back, right? So you have to get comfortable doing this. So in the other views, obviously they're not 3D, so all you can do is, go, side to side or pan in and out, right? Same maneuver. Middle, and then in and out. Okay? So that's how you basically move around. So when you first open the computer, it usually is set up in the animation. So the first thing you want to do is click on this little tab, and these are all the things that Maya can do. And anytime you open any of these menus, all the menus change. And every menu has its section. It's like a kind of an endless program, and it's overwhelming. So just type all the things so you don't get scared. So the first thing you want to do is put it on surfaces, because you're going to be first making stuff. And then this here seems to be in a different mode also. So you want to, there's tabs here, you want to change that to surfaces as well. Okay, so it's going to look like this, like these objects. The next thing you want to do is you want to open your layer menu, so you could see what you're actually working on, because once you start having a lot of items, it's hard to select them on the screen. It's better to have a menu. And that thing is called the outliner. And you go to Window, Outliner, and then this pops up. So right now we don't have any. We have no objects. These are just our default cameras. And you're pretty much ready to go. So, and these are your basic select and manipulating tools that we're going to be looking at first. So these are, first one is a select. This is a select with a lasso. This is a move tool. And if actually you put your mouse on it, it usually tells you what it is. Rotate, scale. We're just basically going to use these three right now: the move, the rotate, and the scale tool. So the first thing we're going to do is you could build either in NURBS or in polygons, and you could convert. So you could convert from a NURB to a polygon, but you cannot convert from a polygon to a NURB. So NURBS are smooth surfaces, right, and polygons are faceted surfaces. So there's an advantage to both. The nice thing with the NURB surface is that it's fluid and it's all continuous. Once you get a shape that you want, you can convert it to a polygon, and then you can operate on it and fragment. So this is probably very similar to the other 3D programs. So the first thing we'll do is we'll make a sphere. So this is a NURB sphere. Right now all the NURBS are up. You could also find these if you go to Create, NURBS primitives. And these are all your basic geometries. So we'll start with that. And then it just says drag on the grid. So I'm just going to drag a sphere. And, oops. So actually, if you look just over a little bit, click on this, you could actually position it based on the grid. You could tell it where to go. You could decide how large you want it, right? But right now, we're just going to sort of do it intuitively, just to look at this. Just zoom in. So again, when it's selected, it's green. When it's not, it's blue. So right now, it's in its. Why doesn't it look like a? This is not. I think it's a polygon. Let me do this again. Oops. That was a polygon sphere. Okay, so the NURB sphere, when it first comes in, it's just a simple wireframe. If you hit 2, it gets denser. If you hit 3, it gets even denser. If you hit 6, it shades. Okay, and then again, you can see 1. Less geometry, 2, and 3. And the reason you may want to work in less geometry, if you have something that's really complex, it's going to be very heavy. So you want to work in a lower geometry, and then when you're ready to render it, you could raise the geometry. This program crashes all the time, so all the time. Like, it's the most annoying thing, so you need to save. It also corrupts files all the time, so you need to save to multiple places in case that happens. It just needs to happen once, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's the select tool. This is the move tool, right? So basically, all the tools have these things called handles, and anytime you pull on a handle in the direction that you see it, it will go along that axis. If you want to move it freely, you grab it in the middle and move it. So, for instance, I'm pulling it this way or this way, and if you see, could. So you can see it moving along the axis. And then if I grab it in the middle, I could position it. You can see how those numbers are changing with the translation of X, Y, and Z. So you actually know where it is in space. Okay, so that's the move tool. Then the rotate tool, same thing. It has these handles, so you could just pull them how you would want to rotate your object. And then the scale tool, if you want to do it proportionally, whoops, you have to pull on the middle. But if you want to pull in one direction and elongate it, right, you pull on, you can start to. So it's really intuitive, actually. It's very much, what you think it's going to do. Right. Okay, so there's our sphere. Okay, so every NURB surface is made out of these series of curves, which are actually just embedded into a surface. They're not, you can't take them out of there. And the curves are always made out of points, right? Like in math, we learn that to make a curve, you need at least 2 points. So if you are to activate what they're called CVs, those points, controlled vertices, you could actually start to work on local moments of the surface. Right now, where we're pulling on, it's global, right? We're stretching it globally. But I could actually go in there and work on a small area. So if I hit the F8 key, and if you're in a Mac, it's function F8, I think. It activates all these little pink dots, which now lets me manipulate this thing. If I select the move tool, I can select the point, and I can start to deform it locally. So you can see how I could actually start, and I could select a group of them. I could start to make a form, just using these points. And I could expand. So one could go and create a whole geometry purely based